Hello, and thank you for your interest in the Giving Nest preschool and kindergarten. This is my first time ever doing a virtual tour, so please bear with me. We are in unique times right now. I wanted to tell you a little bit about our logo. This is our logo since we started our school in 1990. And our goal, my business partner Debbie Hannon and I, wanted to create a safe and secure home for your children when they're away from their real home. So we have Gertie, our Giving Nest birdie, in a beautiful nest, and she's nurturing these two young babies. And when we started our school in 1990, Debbie has 3 children, I have 3 children, and our youngest were able to come to the Giving Nest. So we named this little girl bird Tara, and Tara now is the assistant director at Watchung, and this little boy is John, and he's my son, and they both came through the Giving Nest. So let's go inside and let me show you our school. Now at arrival time, this is the time when the doors are only opened. This is our entrance door for the children that are in the classrooms at this end of the hallway. We have a back door, and that's the entrance door for the children and the classrooms in the back. And then at our double doors, that's the entrance door for the parents that bring their children to the 2 middle classrooms. Again, I want you to be assured, because I'm sure everyone, the question is going to be, how are my children going to be safe at your school with the COVID-19? All I can tell you is rest assured. We take everything we do at our school so seriously. We work with fun children, but as far as our responsibility when it comes to the safety of your children, my staff, and you, that is of utmost importance. So whatever regulations that we are told that we need to do, please be assured that we will do them. The tour today, though, is going to be a typical tour of what our school looked like for 30 years. What it's going to look like in September, we'll have to find out together. So come on in. And welcome inside to the Giving Nest. So as I told you, after we do arrival time, and this is the only time that our doors are opened, we have the office staff in the hallway, and that's when the parents come in. But 10 minutes after the doors are open for arrival, they are closed. Now the only way to come into our school would be to ring our doorbell. But let me show you a wonderful thing that we have in our office that was donated by a parent of our school about 10 years ago. We had a security system donated. Even the monthly fee is covered through this donation. So whenever our doorbell rings, I can see the door that we just came in. I can see our back door, the double doors, and our 2 fenced-in playgrounds. It's not a very nice day, so I'm not going to bring you out to our playgrounds, but just so you know, we have 2 fenced-in playgrounds. There's a gate down the middle, and it's right on our property. And the playground to the right is for our little ones, the chickadees and the ducklings. The one to the left is for my bluebirds, cardinals, and kindergarten. And I'll show you later how we transport the children whenever we leave the building. In addition to this part of our security system, we've got an intercom system. And the intercom system goes into each classroom. So if we need to give a message to the teacher, maybe a child's getting picked up early, whatever, or if the teacher needs us for any reason, we intercom each other. So at all times, there are 2 adults in the classroom. So now let's go down to our chickadee classroom. If you're interested in chickadees, that is our 2.5-year-old class. And as we're walking, I want to tell you, our staff have been with us for a very, very long time. In fact, many of them sent their children to the Giving Nest. The children flew and graduated, and the parents stayed with us, which we are blessed. So my staff I would say most of my staff have been with me at least 10 to 15 years, some even longer. So this classroom is our chickadee room. This is for our 2.5-year-olds. The 2.5-year-olds have a teacher and 2 assistants. We feel that's important at this age. And the way we work our preschool, at the beginning in September for our chickadees, we do what's called a swarming technique with them. That means the teacher would have an activity set up at the table. One of the assistants would have an activity. And then this would kind of be a free activity for the children to play with. But that third assistant, especially at the beginning, she's on the floor playing with a small group of children. Big social skills at the 2.5-year-old level. Learning to share, take turns, just learning please and thank you. But as the year goes on, they start working in distinct small groups. And that's the way we run our whole preschool. So for instance, Mrs. Stevens, my chickadee teacher, she might have a group of children over here. And the activity that they were working on is learning body parts. Learning where you have your head, your neck, your shoulders. So she does this really adorable activity with a bear. And we talk about the bear's head and what's on the bear's face, his eyes, and then we point to our eyes. The children then build a small bear. The last step would be a fine motor activity, was to make a bear, glue it, and put it down on a piece of paper. A big part of the chickadee curriculum is developing their fine motor muscles and language development. So throughout the year, we're working on getting these little muscles ready to, as they get older. They also will have to do some figuring out. Here a child's putting together a little boy, a puzzle. Here we have a child that could be lacing beads, building Mr. Potato Head or Miss Potato Head. So all of these activities, we have a purpose. Our goal always is to make children think they're playing all day long. But with everything that we do with your children, there is a learning perspective behind it. At this table, a lot of good listening skills are going on. Here they're going to build a rainbow. So every child will have a rainbow that they're going to follow along. And they'll learn colors also as they're doing it. They'll learn the colors of the rainbow. So there's steps, there's a process. Everything, again, we're encouraging all areas of your child's development. Now you might wonder, what is this on the floor? As I told you before, we have a plan for everything that we do with your children, and safety is key and paramount for your child. Whenever the teachers leave the classroom, both teacher and assistant will always bring their attendance sheet. That is updated throughout the day. If a child has to go home, they might not be feeling well, they're going to the dentist, the teacher is always managing her attendance sheet. When we go to the sing room, when we go outside, even going to the bathroom, the teacher always has her attendance sheet. This rope is our transport from when any child, any age, leaves our building. So when we go to the playground, and even when the chickadees go down to the sing room, for the 2s and 3s, we use this all the time, even if we're transporting children from the classroom to another room. The older children, it's just when they go out to the playground. But every child holds onto a loop, teachers in the front, the assistants in the back with the chickadees. There's that third assistant that will help the children in the middle. And they hold on to that. When they go to the playground, teacher always brings the first aid kit, her attendance sheet, and the key to get into the playground that even has instructions on it. But if they go to the playground and someone has a stinky diaper or has to go to the bathroom, they stay there. They call us on their cell phone via the intercom system, and we go out and take that child back inside. With every age group, we have a routine to develop their independence skills. With the chickadees, their skill for this year is when they come in, they'll hand their backpack to the teacher, and the teacher will put their backpack on the hook, and she'll hand them their lunchbox. They have to go and put their lunchbox in the bin, and everyone brings in a water bottle, a recyclable water bottle that you can use over and over again. And the child will put their water bottle into the case, into the little bin. All right, so let's go down to a duckling, a typical duckling classroom. And as I'm walking, I'm going to answer some questions for you, because we get these questions. Children in the chickadee and the duckling classroom do not have to be potty trained. What you are required to bring in, though, would be disposable diapers and baby wipes. And we ask for no Velcro, because if the Velcro, they can peel it off without having to take off the pants and the shoes. Because just imagine changing 12 diapers and we have to take all the clothes off. So that's why we ask for diapers or a Velcro that you can pull off. So let's go into a duckling classroom. This is Mrs. Amy's class, and in here we have Mrs. Amy, and she would be with her assistant. This class happens to meet on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9:15 to 1. And then she has a class on Tuesday and Thursday from 9:15 to 1. Again, there's a teacher and a teacher assistant. The way the classroom is always set up, and again, that could change because of COVID-19, but the teacher would be at one table doing an activity, the assistant would be at another table doing an activity, and then there's a group of children of free play. So right now our ratio is 15 in a class, so it would be 5 children at this table, 5 children at this table, and 5 children at free play. And this is so conducive to learning for children. Think about one teacher at a table just with 5 children that she's working with. So a child that might know the skill a little bit more than another child, she can give them some extra things to do. The child that needs a little bit more help, whatever the activity would be, she can do that also. In the 3-year-old class, our big goal for them in all areas of their development, but fine motor is really stressed with this age group. Again, we need to prepare our children to start doing academic work that they're going to be using their hands, a lot of writing as they get older, even keyboard skills. I know that's very popular, but all of those things are important. So in the duckling and chickadee, and really all areas, you always want to work on those large muscles. You want to get your child, all those big core muscles strong, and all those muscles start working into those fine motor. So some of the things that the ducklings will do is at the beginning of the year, they do a lot of tearing. Tearing is, again, a great fine motor skill, and it's not as easy as you think. So they start the year tearing, and then they'll start snipping with scissors, and then they'll get to the point where they're able to cut with scissors. So this activity started with tearing, working its way to even more fine motor skills of cutting. So this is, if you notice, our children make their projects. That is so paramount in my staff and our philosophy. Work comes from the children. You're not going to see perfect eyes. You're not going to see everything looking cookie cutter, because that's not their work. That would be our work. We want it to come from them, and that builds up their confidence and their learning. We do a lot of things with letter recognition for the ducklings. So for instance, again, your child, you might say, oh, my child knows all the letters. They probably do, but what we're working on also is listening, following the directions, fine motor. So here the child is giving this little paper, and they're working on the letter P, so P is for penguin. Then they get this sheet of paper. They're going to cut out all of the things on the paper, and then they have to match it up. So eye-hand coordination's going on, matching, letter recognition, fine motor, so the children peel off a sticker and put it on the circle. Or they might dot paint. Another thing that we do, we use a wonderful program called Handwriting Without Tears. And we start this in the duckling class. And for them, they're working on aiming and coloring, which would be they put their crayon in the air and they have to come down, and they learn that back and forth motion when they're coloring. They're going to build the letter. We want children to feel, not just hear. We want them to experience the whole thing. So here they would build the letter P. And so they see that that is the letter P. We do math, sorting. I could go on and on, but I don't want to tire you out. So let's go down to our Bluebird classroom. Now the Bluebirds are children that are 4 and turning 5, but they're probably the younger 4s. Or parents choose Bluebirds over Cardinals because we offer more options. You can come 3 half days to a Bluebird class, or you could come 2 full days, or 3 full days, or 5 full days. So a lot of times it's just the options. There's more options in Bluebirds, and also Bluebirds is definitely for a child that could have a summer birthday that you might want to give them that extra year of preschool, or you want those hours, or you're just not sure, your child doesn't make the cutoff for kindergarten. So the Bluebird is an enriched program. It definitely prepares the child for kindergarten. We make sure that one thing my business partner and I do at least 3 times a year is we reach out to all the local kindergartens that our children would go to at all of our locations. So we're reaching out to Watchung, Warren, North Plainfield, South Plainfield, Middlesex, Denellen, Bridgewater. So all the schools, Basking Ridge, Pluckaman. So we're reaching out to all the schools that your children could go to when they leave our school. We want to make sure that we are doing our job preparing your children. So we revamp our curriculum, and it's changed, it's evolved definitely over the years. So this is a 4-year-old classroom, and let me briefly tell you what we do in our 4-year-old class. Some really fun things. We do a circle time with each age group. And I'm not going to go into a lot of that, but with each age group, we build upon skills. I forgot to tell you, in the chickadee and the duckling class, there's a helper of the day, which they live for that helper of the day. That their job when they're helper of the day is to be the line leader, to hold that attendance chart, to do the weather with the children. But as they get older, we have more children that will do jobs throughout the day, and they change every 2 weeks. We do a star of the week in the Bluebird class. The children bring in pictures and the class interviews them. And a really important skill is the children learn to ask a question. And you would think that that's easy, but sometimes that's difficult for a child to know how to ask a question. They work on the letters, recognition, making the letter, hearing the letter initial sound. So again, you could see the progression with each of our age groups. So for instance, this class was working on the letter C. They came up with as many C words as they could possibly think of. Then they do, the Bluebirds, do a book that is similar to Brown Bear, What Do You See? So they'll get a letter book. Cutting skills come into this. sounds, reading. So there's a little book that's going to tell them the letter. They make a letter art book, and each child is going to have an alphabet book. Over here, counting, learning their numbers, more or less the same. All of those skills come into the Bluebird class. They do a storybook of the month. Here they did Papa, Please Get Me the Moon. Today is Monday. Over here it was 10 little bluebirds. So that's a special project that they do. They have a take-home journal at the end of the year. They do a Scientist of the Month. STEAM is a big part of our whole program. Here, one of the favorite projects is giving children a challenge, letting them figure things out. So here's red cups. What can you make? How tall can your tower be? So STEAM is in every single classroom. So let's go. Oh, I guess it would help to tell you, what does STEAM mean? STEAM is very big now in preschool and elementary school programs. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So we incorporate all of that. In fact, since we've been closed because of COVID-19, we have been sending daily activities to the children. We do an age group activities for the week for every age group. I send STEAM activities to the children. For instance, this week they're going to watch Rapunzel, and then they're going to try to make a slide from the tower going down for her to get safely out of the castle. So this is our Cardinal class. Circle time takes place over here. The class is working on, or was working on, the letter N when they were last here. They learn their letters by hearing a story about the letter. Then they'll go back to the table and they'll have a small version of the story that they're going to cut, collate it by number. Every page is numbered. And then they'll staple it and they'll circle all the letter N's that they could find. And I forgot to tell you, in the Bluebird class, they do this also. This is our Handwriting Without Tears that the ducklings are introduced to. But here, they're going to make the letter N. They are going to do what is called, the teacher will first put the letter N on the chalkboard. The children will get their chalk. They'll go over, and there's songs that we teach them. We start our letters at the top. The children will go over the teacher's N. And then, again, another fine motor skill. They're going to be given water. And they're going to dip their sponge in the water. They're going to erase it. Again, fine motor skill. They dry it, and then they try it. They'll do this over and over until they feel comfortable making that letter. And again, the Bluebirds have the same thing. They have a workbook that they're going to go to. At the beginning of the year, we always use crayons with children. These are called flip crayons from Handwriting Without Tears. And you might say, why? The crayon is so small. It being so small helps the child hold the crayon correctly. So at the beginning of the year, crayons have that resistance, so they're not going to slip. So we start the year with the crayon. But as the school year goes on, we're into March, they're going to start using a small pencil. Again, it helps the child hold the pencil correctly. They are going to read a little sentence that goes with the letter. Math, big skills in the Bluebird and the Cardinal class. The little ones work on numbers 1 to 5. The other children work on, the ducklings start working up numbers to 10. But we're not talking just counting. We're talking what's more, what's less. And here, like for here, with the older numbers, there's a clothespin. They have to count the dots, find the matching clothespin, and clip it to that number. We worked on numbers to 20 with both the Bluebirds and the Cardinals. We do 10 frames with them. Here's a great skill. We get into simple addition, but also if I put so many cats on this side and only put one, which one has more? Which one has less? Unifix cubes, huge with the children. Whenever we introduce a number, again, they're seeing the number, they're feeling the number, they're counting the number, they're seeing which has more, which has less, which is in the middle. So much goes into what we do. Children, I'll think of questions that we have gotten in the past. Children bring their lunch to school. And we don't have a microwave, so it would be a hot lunch. If you want a hot lunch, use a thermos. They will have rest time if they come a full day for 30 minutes. It's called our quiet rest time. It really does help them. It kind of gives their brain time to shut down. The ducklings, Bluebirds, and the Cardinals, they will watch a little storybook video because some children get very apprehensive about having to lay down. But it's always something that's very mild. Again, it's a storybook, and the chickadees listen to music. I believe I've covered everything. If I have not, and you have more questions, please feel free to reach out. Visit our website, which is probably where this will be, but at our website, it's filled with so much information, teacher calendars, pictures of our staff. And Facebook, I post pictures on Facebook. But if you go back to our webpage, you'll see the what's up. That tells you what the children are going to be doing. It's really called what's tweeting in a class, what's chirping. It will tell you what the children will be learning throughout the month. You'll see the teacher calendar. You'll see the newsletter. So again, write questions. You can fill out an application. If you'd like to call, you can. We do check our messages. The phone number in North Plainfield is 908-754-2060. Again, I thank you for the interest in our school. We love what we do. This is our passion. And I hope that came across. This has been really trying times for all of us, but we're in it together. There is a light at the end of this tunnel, but rest assured, whatever we have to do as a giving nest to make sure your child is safe, we will do. Thank you again. Have a great day.